What is happening, fellow Cobras? Welcome back to Strike First Media. In this video, we'll be discussing how Tory could tell her side of the story in Cobra Kai Season 4. But before we get started, if this is your first time with us and you love Cobra Kai and Karate Kid, consider joining the dojo today by hitting the red subscribe button below and turning on all notifications so you don't miss anything. So back in Season 3, we learned that Tory not only works at the roller rink as her main source of income, but also works at the sushi restaurant in town to support her mom and little brother. And we saw her about to head inside for her shift when Johnny and Miguel were eating sushi there, so they could take pictures to try and impress Allie. So what I could realistically see happening is that since Daniel is such a big fan of sushi and other Japanese cuisine, he and maybe Amanda would both visit this restaurant to get some food or sit down, and their waitress would be Tory. And at first, I think the both of them would be angry seeing Tory there and start asking her questions. But Tory would be apprehensive and feel reluctant to answer, but then would explain herself and tell her side of the story, and the Russos would learn that a majority of the issues between Sam and Tory is Sam's fault. And Daniel and Tory, of course, wouldn't come to the consensus of burying the hatchet between each other, but Daniel would come to the understanding that there are reasons as to why Tory dislikes Sam so much, and the consequences that Sam is facing is under her own doing. Now, I'm gonna sound a little bit like Watch Party when I say that Sam is not the perfect person she constantly makes herself out to be. But in all honesty, I just want to put out there that I love the character of Sam, but she has made perhaps the most mistakes among all the characters in the entire show, and is mostly to blame for all the conflict in the series we've seen thus far. Now, the severity of Sam's mistakes doesn't justify Tory's acts of violence towards her at all, but it does explain why Tory has such a big problem with her. And my own problem with Sam is that she is so used to playing the victim card in nearly every scenario when it comes to Tory.
Everybody's got a sob story. Doesn't give you the right to be a bully.
And in my honest opinion, when Daniel eventually does come face to face with Tory, I think he'll at least hear her out and not just listen to Sam because she's his daughter. And who knows, some good might just come out of it. This could lead to a lot of Tory and Sam's problems being solved if Daniel is the mediator between the two, and it could actually help Tory in the long run with her sick mother, life of poverty, and being stuck in the dark with only violence and revenge on her mind for her enemies. She could even come to the realization that feeding into her anger and channeling all that hate that Kreese taught her may just be the wrong way to go about her issues and only bring her down a darker path. That'll only lead her into more trouble the longer she stays with it. And some may look at this first confrontation between Daniel and Tory as trouble just waiting to happen. But I really think a lot of light will be shed on the subject that could benefit both parties if both sides of the story are heard out and they can easily be fixed, just like Daniel and Johnny's situation. So after Daniel and or Amanda hear Tory out, perhaps Daniel finds a time to sit down with Sam to talk about all her mistakes and how it's important that she face the music and own up to them. I feel like it's the only way that either of them has a chance to move forward, but that'll be left up to Sam and Tory to decide, whether or not they ever want this rivalry to end between them or not. But with that being said, guys, that'll do it for this video. Be sure to let me know down below in the comments section what you think the chances are we get a Daniel and Tory confrontation in Cobra Kai Season 4. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like, and if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button if you want to stay updated on Cobra Kai and Karate Kid content. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.